Hi everyone, this is Balazs from RacingBrick. Today I'm going to review the latest LEGO Icons vehicle, the 10317 Land Rover Classic Defender 90. Does this make any sense to you? Okay, how about Classic Land Rover Defender 90? Much better. I already did a reveal and preview video of the set last week, the link is in the top right corner, now it's time to build it. Since I spent my whole weekend at AMTS, the biggest Hungarian car show, where we exhibited around 400 LEGO vehicles together with a very cool team, I didn't have much time to prepare my usual complete building review. As you can see, there isn't much behind me at the moment, everything is still in boxes, many boxes. Additionally, I will have an opportunity to talk to the designer of the set tomorrow, so I decided to split my video into two parts. Today, I will show you all the interesting details of the building process, one of the versions of the Defender because there are multiple building options, a quick comparison with the Technic Defender because I know you are dying to see that, and everything else with more background information from the designer, a comparison with other sets, and more will come later this week. I'm not going to waste much time on the box today, I already showed it in the preview video, so let's open it. The set has 2,336 pieces, the price is 240 euros or dollars. I will share my opinion about the price once the set is built and fully evaluated. There are 18 numbered bags inside with 15 building phases, one unnumbered bag with the tires and windshield, one loose plate and an envelope with a relatively small sticker sheet and the instructions. This one contains some nice details such as an introduction to the Land Rover brand, which is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, a nice timeline of all the different models that have been launched over the years, a few words from the designer, and then we can start building. We begin with the accessories. Here is this yellow high-lift jack, a simple build but seems to do the job. Then, as a surprising accessory, we build a V8 engine, which has nice black sausage pieces that aren't very common on engines. There's a half stud offset between the two sides, so they can be folded like this. You gave me several tips for the V8 in the comments of the previous video. I will definitely ask the designer about the exact model used. Here are a whole bunch of tools made of 10 candle pieces, an exhaust shield, and Thor's hammer is also included. There are 2 sand plates and 2 jerry cans, a nice use of those bricks with open studs on the sides and the triangular tiles, and a minifig roller skate for the lid. We also get a pretty cool toolbox with an inverted base, this is how it is assembled, and we get a big pile of tools to put in it. The construction of the chassis starts with a mix of studded and non-studded Technic parts. After covering it with plates comes the massive surprise of the set that was kind of spoiled on the cover already. There is a working Technic suspension. This is the first Creator Expert or Icons vehicle ever with such a feature. A slightly different configuration goes to the other end, and check out this cool way to attach the mixed structure to the studded base. A few more parts and we are at the end of phase 2. Some interesting small snot structures added in phase 3 along with the door hinges. Another mixed assembly with studded and studless Technic and system pieces, and this is not all. This funny thing will become our exhaust pipe, and the assembly is secured in place with stud and Technic connections. It might get boring after a while, but I can't repeat enough how much I like this mixed building approach with the best of different LEGO worlds. We get a very cool printed round tile with the Land Rover logo. This is the grille and these are temporary support elements for the front section, which will be removed later and become the fire extinguisher, I guess. This is the base of the steering system from phase 4. According to the instructions, we have the option to mount the steering wheel on both sides of the cabin, which is a very nice attention to detail. The default configuration is the classic British one with the steering wheel on the right side. I will build this version. The manual doesn't give us any help for the other variant, you just have to build things mirrored, which isn't that complicated but might be a bit intimidating for people with less experience. A few more parts for the steering system, then it's time to add the pedals and all the various sticks that an off-road vehicle needs, and also a cup of coffee to keep you awake on the trail. The lower part of the seats are here, then the steering wheel without the Land Rover logo, that's kind of weird. The first sticker of the set is for the dashboard with old school controls and the radio. We finished the dashboard on the passenger side with the storage compartment and the grab bar. I guess you need to mirror the build up until this point if you want to have the steering wheel on the left. We will still add the gear to the other side to connect the steering wheel to the steering system. Like I said, it's not super complicated, but maybe a single drawing with the other configuration in the manual would have helped. I'm not sure if everyone knows if all the shifters need to be swapped as well, for example. Phase 5 begins with a more traditional studded part stacking session. This is the front side era. Wow, LEGO keeps releasing funny pieces. This one is new for 2023. This becomes a nice assembly for one of the headlights. A slightly different assembly goes on the other side. This is the end of back 5. Stud connections in all different directions. It starts out pretty simple, but we quickly add a lot of nice detail. This is a pretty interesting section with the hinges. On one side we have a grey frictionless pin. You can see how easily it moves, but we have a black pin with friction on the other side. Then there are 2 more frictionless connections. Since this assembly is going to support the hood, I assume that careful testing has been done to see how much friction is needed to make it work properly. Now it's time to grab the huge windscreen that appeared in the T2 campervan. It is packed separately with the tires. Fortunately, this time it has no major scratches, but it's not perfect either. It deserves some extra protection. I'm not sure it was the smartest move to give the 2 stickers we have to put on the 2 sides of the windshield the numbers 6 and 9. I'm also not quite sure where they should go on this curved surface. It's a little tricky to attach the windshield. We need to add the 2 mirrors and the face 6. Another more traditional brick and plate stacking assembly, but it is spiced up with a printed Land Rover tire, the lights, and even more clever details like the fuel cap. We add lots of brackets and smooth tiles to make the interior, then everything is nicely covered up here too. We have headrests for the rear seat, then the bottom of the door, part of the rear bumper, and that's it, up to bag 8. After repeating the previous builds on the other side, we need to attach these tricky little headrests to the top of the seats, and then the whole thing is put in place. A big color change in phase 9 with all the white parts, but then we also have some unusual red and green pieces. This will all be hidden, of course, going forward. I wonder if this is an Italian or maybe even a Hungarian reference by the designer. Check out the cool structure of the windows in the roof. This is also mostly covered afterwards, as only the curved sides are needed. Here is our finished roof assembly. Okay, not quite done yet. Here is the rearview mirror. Apparently the vehicle is on the road from the LEGO campus towards the town center in Billund. As you can see, we get 2 holes to position the mirror according to the location of the driver's seat. Here's the next section with the side windows and some tricky assembly with lots of small brackets, then a few more, and it's time to assemble these various parts and attach them to the body of the Defender. Okay, this guy here is definitely wrong, but I'm guessing it's already too late and you filled the comment section with it. Bag 11 is all about Technic again as we build the rear axle. Sorry Tiago, this probably won't be your favorite build, but I simply love it. The instructions don't give us much guidance on the order here, but I think it's better to attach the links first and then connect the shock absorbers. There's no real differential here, but we are brick building one and then add these links to have a really nice suspension setup. The front axle is also quite exciting, because here you also have to install the steering. This is how it will work. The assembly requires some patience and attention. Now it's time to install the front axle and attach all the necessary links. This is how the suspension will work. These rims were last available in a Technic set about 5 years ago, and they are new in this shade of green. It is time to remove the supports, put the vehicle on its wheels, and use these parts to assemble the fire extinguisher. Here is the spare wheel for the rear. Then we need to install the last gear in the steering system. Make sure that the steering wheel is properly aligned first. The last parts from this stage are the brand new wheel arches. They look super cool on the Defender. It looks more and more complete. We have 2 license plates to add. First I thought they were identical, but there's a little difference between them. If you know what the significance of this is, then please let me know in the comment section. This will be the diesel engine. It really has a lot of cool details. Most of you have guessed that this is the 2.5 liter TD5, an inline turbo diesel engine. I will definitely ask the designer about it tomorrow. You will have to fiddle around a bit until it fits, and now it's time to make a decision. We can build the fully equipped Expedition model. There are the 2 engine options, and there are even 2 variants for the sleek version, one with a hood bulge for the diesel engine, the other without it. We will go for the fully equipped version first. This one needs some support elements all around. Then comes the hood, and I'm sure people won't be happy with this feature. The big Defender label in the front isn't a print, we need to add stickers. It's a real shame because it's a very visible feature on the car. It's quite a challenge to push it in place. Oops, that piece keeps popping out, and then comes the spare wheel. We have a lot of parts left, but we already have to open back 13. I guess they are for the standard hood. This one is for the Technic connector fans. I don't know how many of them there are. I know one, but I'm afraid this stage won't be very popular in general. And it doesn't stop at this structure and at back 13. The next one also has parts for the roof rack. This one, however, has mostly plates and some cool mounts for the lights. Now we need to push these two parts together, preferably upside down. Let's attach them to the car, and we still need to add the ladder. The final challenge comes in bag 15. Here are the running boards, then the snorkel, and this will be a brick-built winch with quite a bit of detail. Then the whole assembly has to go in place, along with all the accessories we built at the very beginning. We also need to securely fasten everything down, and then the build is finally done. So here is our finished and fully equipped Land Rover Defender. I think it looks great from all angles and there are lots of details to discover. Remember that this isn't the only version we can build. I will show you the alternative versions in the next video. But before we finish with this one, let's put the Technic Defender next to it because many of you asked about it. This one has completely different proportions and dimensions, but I think they look great together. I know some of you wanted the new Defender to have the same scale, but just imagine the price tag for that one. Well folks, that was the detailed building review of the new Classic Land Rover Defender set. In my next video, I will show you all the build options and features, I will compare it to other Creator Expert and Icons vehicles, and hopefully give you some exclusive background information from the designer himself. Please share your thoughts and questions for the next video in the comments section. If you enjoyed this one, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications because the second part and more exciting LEGO videos will follow soon. See you next time, bye bye.